Who serves? The changing face of America's veterans. Hook. Imagine a parade of American veterans stretching back to the Revolutionary War. For centuries, nearly every face in that line would be male. But today, and even more so tomorrow, the story is changing. The U.S. veteran population is undergoing a quiet revolution, one in which women, once nearly invisible in military ranks, are now the fastest-growing segment of America's veterans. This transformation not only reflects evolving military policies, but also mirrors broader social shifts in gender roles, opportunity, and recognition. Early history: men as the face of military service. For most of American history, military service, and thus veteran status, was almost exclusively a male domain. From the colonial era through World War II, legal and cultural barriers kept women out of official military roles. Women contributed as nurses, cooks, laundresses, and even spies, but they were not recognized as veterans in official statistics or eligible for veterans' benefits. Colonial era to Civil War. Only men were counted as veterans in census data. Women who disguised themselves as men to fight, like Sarah Emma Edmonds, or who served as nurses and spies, like Harriet Tubman, were not officially recognized post-Civil War to World War I. The 1890 and 1930 censuses continued to count only men as veterans, with women's contributions largely invisible in official records. World War II, the first major shift. World War II marked a turning point. Facing unprecedented personnel needs, the U.S. military established formal women's branches: Women's Army Corps, WAC, Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service, WAVES, Navy, Marine Corps, Women's Reserve Coast Guard, Women's Reserve, SPARS, Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP. Over 350,000 women served in uniform during WE1, performing more than 200 different jobs, from clerks and mechanics to pilots and nurses. Their service freed men for combat and proved women's capabilities in technical and leadership roles. However, women still made up less than 3% of the total armed forces, and most were not officially recognized as veterans in census data or eligible for full benefits until decades later, 1948 to 1970s. Policy changes and slow integration. The Women's Armed Services Integration Act of 1948 was a watershed, granting women permanent status in the regular and reserve forces of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Air Force. However, strict caps limited women to 2% of each branch, and they were barred from combat roles. 1967. The 2% cap was lifted, and women could be promoted to higher ranks. 1970s. Women gained access to service academies and more occupational specialties, but combat restrictions remained. 1980s. 2000. Acceleration of change. 1980. For the first time, the U.S. Census officially recognized women as veterans. 1990s. Women served in combat zones during the Gulf War, and policy changes opened 80% of military positions to women, though some ground combat roles remained closed. By 2000, women accounted for about 6% of all living U.S. veterans. 21st century. Rapid growth and recognition. The post-9/11 era saw women serving in unprecedented numbers and roles, including in combat. Key milestones. 2013, the ban on women in combat was lifted. 2016, all combat jobs officially opened to women. Recent statistics. 2000, women were 6% of veterans, 1.2 million. 2023, women are 11.3% of veterans, 2.1 million. 2021, 1.8 million women veterans, 10.3% of the total projections. The future veteran population. The transformation is ongoing and accelerating. By 2040, women are projected to make up 18% of all U.S. veterans, nearly 1 in 5. By 2053, nearly 19% of veterans will be women. The absolute number of women veterans will remain stable, around 2.1 to 2.2 million, but as the overall veteran population declines, their share rises. Summary table. Gender composition of U.S. veterans. Year percent women veterans, number of women veterans percent, men veterans, number of men veterans 2000, 6%, 1.2 million, 94%, 18.8 million, 2023, 11.3%, 2.1 million, 88.7%, 16.6 million, 2040, 18%, 2.2 million, 82%, 10.0 million, to a thigh 53, 18.7%, 2.1 million, 81.3%, 9.1 million. Export is CSV, the broader significance. This dramatic shift in gender composition is more than a demographic trend. It is a story of changing laws, evolving military needs, and the relentless advocacy of pioneering women. From Margaret Corbin, the first woman to receive a military pension in the Revolutionary War, to Anne E. Dunwoody, the first female four-star general, women have fought for recognition and opportunity. Today, women veterans are more visible than ever, leading in advocacy, policy, and public life. Their growing presence challenges traditional narratives about military service and gender, and their experiences are reshaping how America understands and supports its veterans. In conclusion, the gender composition of American veterans has shifted from near-total male dominance to a rapidly growing and increasingly recognized population of women veterans. This evolution reflects not only changes in military policy, but also the broader march toward gender equality in American society. As we look to the future, women will play an ever larger role in the ongoing story of America's veterans.